Because yes, there is high priority on jungle champions like Lee Sin. There is high priority on bottom lane champions like Misfortune, like Leona, but so much of your game plan depends on which way you want to go with your mid as far as how you actually want to execute.
I think that right now Mad is expecting a TF ban, and they're looking for a first pick Lee. With the Xin removed, something that is a common answer to it, I think Mad is saying, hey, we don't mind if you want to pick Trundle because we'll happily take Lee into that matchup.
Yeah, and I think if there's a single player that I'm most afraid of on Mad Lions, it is Elyoya. So like the Lee Sin ban here, Zin's already banned out. So, you know, things like the Viego do start to stand up as far as early priority. Jarvan has not found much early success, so they might want to steer clear of that one.
Alrighty, well, one final ban to go through, and we see if the first pick was Fate that we heard good Mark talk about on the analyst desk. We're going by first names here for most of Worlds, when it was one as far as I've seen. So one final ban for Team Liquid, time ticking down, taking a lot of time to decide, are they covering the right top plays? Like if they pick for Alphari on 3, is all gonna look good and say, actually the Yuumi is one champ that has been left up. They do not want to let Kaiser grab that.
Well, Twisted Fate is up and available, but instead they're prioritizing the Misfortune. So now the question is, will Team Liquid answer with it? Remember that Humanoid is happy to play the Silas side of that matchup, so I feel that Mad much preferred to have this bot side AD carry. And what I think is really interesting too is, where will the jungle priority be? Will we see a huge investment? Because to me it does seem like Santorin would much rather see what he's playing into before looking in that jungle champ.
Yeah, I like for red side first 2 picks, generally AD carry and jungle. It is kind of the least punishing opening for your pick and ban. So immediately locking the Aphelios here, definitely a big fan for tactical, for core JJ on the bottom side, and then go jungle instead of support, because support right now is so counterable.
They could just grab themselves Thresh though. They could just go for the Aphelios Thresh bot side of the map, a very strong 2 versus 2. Mad very likely to get themselves the Leona, potentially the Rakan, but I think that the Leona is generally what they prefer. But with the Twisted Fate still open, it does seem that Jensen is going to lock that one in.
That's why our magnifying glass was on these mid lane champions. Vedius, the LeBlanc, and the Twisted Fate were the 2 that we had up on the pedestal. Team Liquid, although they did not play a tremendous amount of 1-3-1 side lane victories during the regular season, they did have a decent amount of Twisted Fate plays in there and found huge success with it. So with him opening this and having tactical on Aphelios for the bottom side of the map does put a lot more emphasis on the side lanes, because this is red side for Team Liquid. They have guaranteed counter pick for Alphari if they want it.
Absolutely. So one final pick for Mad Lions where the ban phase comes through. The expected Silas into TF matchup. Twisted Fate, 58% win rate at Worlds so far this year. Silas sub 50. And Elyoya is going to be the difference maker here on a Viego jungle.
Biggest thing for me, especially because we see so much Silas into Twisted Fate, when you're running a melee into range mid matchup, you have to worry so much about your support matchup, because supports roaming mid will just destroy melee mid picks here. Already, Silas has trouble trying to trade health for the minion wave. There we go. We do get that Thresh. We do get the possibilities for those Core JJ roams. If you're unable to contain bottom side and he can go towards the Silas, it only takes a couple of passes, even without killing him, to take so much health that you can no longer, trade your health effectively for the minion waves, and that allows Twisted Fate to push and get those roams off.
I think that with this Thresh lock-in, rather, TL can now just focus on removing some of these strong bot lane support options. Braum is definitely one of them. Leona, I wouldn't be surprised to see removed off the table as well, really limiting Kaiser's ability to set up engages. I will also say that with regards to TL's composition, things like Twisted Fate and Aphelios, great into low-range champions. Silas and Viego both having to close that gap against champions like this. I think that TL already have a good first half.
Meanwhile, expecting probably jungle bans. Oh, they're actually going to be going after Alphari instead. I was going to say, with jungle being mismatched, it's an easy place to look at, but wanted to ensure that, of course, he has either way to go about it, right? Either they give him first dibs and they get a good blind, or they wait for the blind.
And here's the thing. When you have the Twisted Fate already locked in, that it puts more priority on your top lane, side lane matchups, because Arma, while he's known for Wukong and Wukong good into Jace, when you're facing that plus a Twisted Fate, it actually flips it even harder for the Jace. So Jace plus Twisted Fate allows you really crazy split pushing power. I can see why they're banning it out, even though, kind of holding that one in the pocket, and Team Liquid then even bans out the Wukong.
Mad could also be thinking about a blind Gnar right now, something that Armor is very well known for, and they're just trying to remove some of the good options that Alfari could have as an answer to it. With the Graves being removed as well, it does suggest to me that that is the direction. You can see the hover over some of the top laners, and I think that Alfari is kindly reminding Armor, hey, if you do happen to lock in that now, we have good options, but he may very well just blind this Aurelia and say, hey, you know what? I think that I'm better than you. I think that I have options.
That would be so crazy. To throw away your counter pick for no reason when you can easily just take jungle, that would actually be insane to me.
Well, the Trundle comes as no surprise. I think that it's really good into melee matchups in particular. You can use the pillar. I'm pretty confident you can use the pillar to interrupt Misfortune's ultimate as well.
Yes,
and I think that as a common answer to Viego, just all round, it is a very strong pick for the side of team.
And Santorin is a lover of memes, always tweets out the Troll King afterwards. This is one of the champions. It's actually the champion that's probably most closely associated with his legacy. You already mentioned how good it is into melees, but it's also not the greatest ultimate for Sylas to steal. And if you're going down the list here so far, yes, he's going to use a lot of them on Twisted Fate, but not the best ult for Sylas to steal either. So pretty good opening here from Team Liquid. Now, what will Armut blind?
Kennan's been big at Worlds, and that's looks like locked in or no as timer ticks down.
That one's locked in, and since they've already preemptively banned out the Jace, which is most people's favorite into it, go immediately for the Jarvan here. The focus here for all-ins when you have a Twisted Fate for your mid laner. Again, this puts so much pressure there. It's going to hinge a lot on jungle and support, keeping vision around mid early on for Jensen though. If there's one area where Team Liquid got criticized the most, it's probably around Jensen not leaving lane. So it's going to have to be a whole team effort to get those roams available.
And this matchup should look really good for Jarvan top. The tech is Doran's Ring, Airy, and you put 3 points in the flag, and turns out you just kind of point and click the guy, and you knock him out of lane. Morgan beats Xiaohu in lane, playing this matchup. Alfari should be able to beat this one doing it as well.
Biggest thing for Mad Lions for me, team fighting, team fighting, team fighting. I feel like all year it's been shouted in my ear, Mad Lions, best team fighting team there is. And they have to pull it out here. They've got a Kennen, great AoE to get people low, 4 Viego resets. I said, Elyoya, he is literally the scariest person for me on this team. He has one of the scariest champions to pop off with. So with the Misfortune damage, the Kennen damage, there's definitely a lot of AoE to chunk people low for them to try and all in on.
Here's what I will say. I think that Team Liquid's comp seems very well-rounded to me. They have great side lane options. They have great options in the early game as well. They have lanes that they can play around, and that's all facilitated by their mid laner. So Jensen is the person that I will have my eyes on in terms of what he is capable of doing and where he will look to attack in the early game. For Mad Lions, one of their biggest successes during the regular season was their mid-jungle duo, Humanoid and Elyoya, and I think that they have the mid-jungle to be able to get themselves advantages and then try and stop Jensen from doing what he has to in this matchup.
So a couple interesting things too about these counters that they have picked up. The Jarvan into Kennen, as Freak mentioned, a lot about spamming harassment with your flag. But when you do this for your lane matchup, it actually means that Jarvan then has no escape for possible focus on top side. And plus you're the melee one sitting back and just throwing flag. It gives push to the Kennen. So see what Mad Lions can actually do with pushing for top side. Yes, the Sylas into Twisted Fate early should be Jensen controlled, especially if he starts for the early autos.
Interesting to see a different look for Alfari as well, is doing a Corrupting Potion start instead. Again, Doran's Ring is going to give you more poke, but goes for the higher sustain option. As we wait to get ourselves onto the Rift, as the minions are spawning, nothing too gargantuan in the early game. A pretty good early Trinket Ward for Humanoid will track Trundle's movements almost certainly. Sarkorn, they're going to do pretty standard Blast Plant onto the red buff to start his camps, and no leash for looks like either side.
And Santorin, he did the very standard start with your trinket, place down your ward, switch over to your sweeper. So they know, they had vision of it being placed there by the Raptors. They can go for the kill. Bottom side wants a little early lead. Can they get the harassment in?
Standard guns, their tactical has the range, takes a double up, fights back a little bit longer. CoreJJ is on Aftershock here, so a little bit weaker in the very early trading. And now, instant knockout tactical, gonna cleanse, but he's gonna go down! First blood already in for Kaiser!
And just like that, the aggression is punished from the Mad Lions 2 versus 2. A bot lane that we haven't really talked about much coming into this game, but Tactical and CoreJJ, they tried to take advantage of the leash at the start. They tried to get into lane, now Kaiser goes in again.
Play's gonna be too late. The knockup's gonna land, and CoreJJ, will he be forced to flash? May not even get the chance to. The flash follow! Oh, a potion and time warp tonic keeps him alive. Flash for flash, but Team Liquid's bottom lane is doomed.
Team Liquid's bottom lane are getting their asses handed to them by the Mad Lions. Oh my goodness, the level 1 here fighting through the brush with these ranged minions. Here's the all-in. Very nice job by Kaiser. They get the knock-up plus Ignite down there. Maybe they thought they had a little bit of an advantage because of the cleanse on the other side, but Karsi had very good timing on his, so Q comes out, really good burst there and focusing down tactical.
And this is such a big advantage for the bot side of the map now for Mad. We talked a lot about that mid-jungle, but burning those summoner spells, Tactical, of course, still has the flash available. There is still room for Santorin to look for a gank, so we'll have to keep our eyes out, as now both junglers should eye this bot lane as a big opportunity for both sides.
The old jungle salute here. Both of them passing by on Raptors, and it should be Santorin just retreating for the Scuttle Crab instead.
Yep, spots the fact that, okay, he's on to the Raptors now. By the way, let us know how you think this game is going. I will say, by the way, spoiler, well for Mad Lions, but let us know. Verizon 5G all chat. If you're funny, we might bring it up on air.
Missed out on the melee CS there with the early auto. Small things are definitely meaningful, especially when you're kind of scavenging for those every single CS counts. Now, Elyoya does have his smite still, so should be able to secure this one no problem. Doesn't want to have to use it unless Santorin gets super close.
Does it just in case. May have gotten it regardless, but it means he's going to walk topside right away. Armut has to be aware of that. Obviously, he can just get away with a lightning rush, and indeed nothing's going to be claimed here. Santorin obviously spotted.
Yeah.
Out they go.
And again, since Jarvan is constantly using E to harass, E was just used there, so no flag means you can't start it up with a flag and drag, so Trundle, very low threat unless Jarvan has the EQ combo available. Easily can just pass by, and Armut, no problem.
Yeah, I mean, he did that once. He had kind of like called off the gank, but yeah, certainly not going to have a play. Able to run away, no problem. Jensen wants to stop the recall. Only takes one turret shot for it, so forcing Humanoid to go a little bit later on this run, as Elyoya is pathing down to the bottom side. Was spotted a while ago on Raptors, but did not path through the ward this time around, though. Flash in is going to find the knockup out of support, and Tactical has his own flash, but is going to be able to guess the timing. Lantern is down. CoreJJ will walk out of range to get the shield eventually, as they shoot back onto Karzi. Survival in the bottom lane. Flash down for Tactical.
You can see that Elyoya held onto his W for as long as possible, and there was a game of chicken there. Who is going to use the spell first? Respect to Tactical, holding that for as long as possible and then reacting the second he saw the animation come through. He was able to flash out of the way, and because their CC was now used, Mad could not commit for anything more. But Kaiser, looking to be more active on the map, knowing that Team Liquid's bot lane has retreated, he's going to see if he can find a roam, but Santorin and CoreJJ are here to cover.
Kaiser, nice deep ward on the right side of the jungle. Pebble gets spotted for a while. I mean, that blue buff's not going to spawn until well after 7 minutes, so could get some really good gains out of that one. CoreJJ and Kaiser gonna cross paths. Not much of a fight to be had. Could go for the hook, but Jensen really wants his recall. Even if he went for the random hook and tried to land it, you weren't going to get anything out of it.
Yeah, CoreJJ just screening right there. There's no way that you can chase down this Kron, too much mobility, so I'm just trying to screen, make sure the recall goes off, so teleports are synced up.
Actually, above that, Core doesn't have hook yet. He's level 2. He's got Lantern and Flay, so he couldn't have done anything anyway. The man's been pushed out of lane so much. That's a level 2 thresh. I expected 5 minutes in that he would have all his abilities, you know?
I want to refocus here because timing is about to switch the fate of this bottom lane. Level 6s have come in for the mid laner, so Humanoid trying to steal away the Twisted Fate ultimate. Jensen has it available, and since both teleports were just used to get right back to mid, now they'll be looking at these flashless bottom lanes.
So I think that what we need to pay attention to is this top lane, actually, because Armut has level 6, and he has a stacking wave building up. Rakan just came mid to help Humanoid get the push, which means that this top lane dive is a very real opportunity, and Humanoid loves to go for these early roams. With Elyoya pathing up towards the top side as well, that could be an option that Mad Lions is looking for, but it seems that Team Liquid is very aware of the possibility.
Yeah, you can see the pathing for Trundle. Santorin already kind of near the top side. Has no camps up to take, but he's just like, in case, all right, Humanoid's back in lane, no problem.
Yeah, a bit difficult to get a kill out of that one. Maybe burn a flash or something, but looks like the roam up through river will at least find a ward.
There he goes. Control ward. Okay, 75 gold denied and 30 gold earned for the kill as he can walk back to his lane before too long. CoreJJ is indeed going to try to lane topside. Does he bypass the trinket ward is a question. Looks like yes. And just staying out of the reach of that one, although as he walks around hitting the red buff may be spotted after all. We're seeing the missing pings. They know Trundle should be going for his red buff off the spawn. Here's the dunk topside. How far would like to get some damage, and as Armut going to trade ult for ult. And honestly, not bad. Armut doesn't have that for, of course, a gank follow through. Another flag lands, and yeah, almost in lethal range.
Good harassment there from Alfari. I think it was worth it because he's now going to force Armut to go back to base. He may very well be able to deny a wave. And look, Team Liquid can actually move into the topside jungle if they want. And they should be able to steal away the blue buff, but they've instead decided, no, there they are. I like this use of the priority that they have in the top lane. They know that they should have numbers advantage, and this should be a free neutral going over to Santorin.
And big thing that they got there is the teleport advantage, because it forces Armut's teleport to get back to the CS at the tower. Meanwhile, because they pushed and they used jungle plus support roam timing to help him get that advantage, it doesn't require Alfari's teleport. So Team Liquid now have acquired one small cooldown advantage.
Certainly have, but look at Tactical's position. He does not have flash. Mad Lions know this, and Kaiser's looking for the collapse.
Oh, he may be caught. The flash is down, exhaust is up, but that's not gonna do a whole lot here. Goes for the movement, there's the knockup, there's the bullet time. Ulti is a heal, but it's not gonna be enough. Carzzy claims the kill, 2-0 in the bottom lane.
The bottom lane massacre continues. Mad Lions will be rewarded with a dragon off the top of that one too.
And that was ultimately Tactical just trying to push in that wave so that he can look to base, but he stayed in lane a little bit too long and he ends up getting punished for it. Now Mad looking to rotate into mid lane.
Jensen's got a blue card locked in, the flash stun's gonna land, and the prediction is through for Kaiser! The dunk comes across, 3-0 Mad Lions staying alive at World!
But now Team Liquid's trying to answer in the top lane.
Armut has a flash, but he doesn't have a way of living. Predicted hook, Lantern comes down, Alfari gets the kill credit. So one finally back to the board for Team Liquid.
Ultimately trades across the board. It is Humanoid going to be getting plates in mid, but now Mad, they're actually grouping up around this top side of the map. Elyoya is here. Carzzy was also on his way up too, but it seems for now they're not going to overcommit to anything.
TFL just to be in the lane, but he's going to be on top of Humanoid, so there's the Ignite, there's the Q damage, and is it going to be enough? A flash for the Lantern to keep him in range. The box is not going to save him. Santorin gets the second kill of the game. Now Team Liquid bring it back to tied and gold.
And because they also have Tactical back pushing on bottom side, he's going to get this double stacked wave all the way into the turret. He's got the crescendum, so it's perfect for knocking off those plates and getting paid.
Ooh, look at this from Santorin. He's looking for more as well.
Stun, does he have turret dagger? Looks like no, so it's only gonna be some damage, but it is gonna be wave clear, but Alfari shows up for a knockup, a pillar in his face, Armut teleported into a death as they finally get the shots in, and Team Liquid take the lead.
A beautiful dive there from Team Liquid, because that teleport advantage that we were talking about from Alfari, he was waiting for the right opportunity to use it, and that was it right there. Well executed, they get themselves another kill. They're likely going to get themselves this bot tower as well, funneling more gold into Alfari, and it was Tactical that picked up the kill. Team Liquid very quickly gaining control over this early game.
All right, next response to look for is the second charge, because this Rift Herald is definitely going to kill off first tower here for Mad Lions. They get the extra bonus there. Now trying to usher it in while Team Liquid pick up the dragon. They've already reset Tactical and Core JJ, and just spends how much life it has left. Should be killable there for Team Liquid if he runs straight at it.
Go, needs the eye to open up. And there you go, 25 gold earned. Turret is going to be healthy. Not willing to spend the time to shepherd it in. Okay, fine. Temporarily, 500 gold for Mad Lions. We know the bot turret is low, but is not claimed. So, money to spend. Mad Lions, so far, not too bad, but down to Drake as Santorin sold that not long ago.
So I will say that Team Liquid, they haven't been super proactive in utilizing this Twisted Fate ultimate, but they've been responding very well to the pressure that Mad Lions has been throwing down. Yes, their bot lane did fall short very early on, but Core JJ, that did not stop him from looking for roams around the map and looking to punish the positioning of where Mad Lions is. And the moment that Humanoid overextends in the mid lane, they also get a punish there. So even the kills are now very even, thanks to the plates that they were able to get. The gold is still dead even, and Team Liquid still in a very good position as we transition from the early to the mid game.
Yep, both of the two main errors that Mad Lions actually are a victim of in the last couple of minutes here were both keeping track of globals. It was first the Jarvan teleport advantage that we talked about when they forced Kennen back for bottom side, and then also the Jensen ultimate there. Humanoid stayed very long on the mid lane turret to get his 2 turret plates. If not for those miscalculations, they actually could have come out with a much more substantial lead.
300 gold still separates them. 3.5 minutes into the next dragon of this game as well, and we know the ultis are back up soon. Jensen's second Destiny is in about 20 seconds. Actually 12 as they look in the bottom left corner. It's about 20, I think it's close enough. As the bot lane turret we know is low. Turret plate still on. Armut burns the ulti for the wave, but that means the dive is gonna come through. turns out it's a pool after all. The dive is good, but now into the mid lane. Tactical forced to flash early on. That is a huge clear advantage for Mad Lions.
And once again, Team Liquid just utilizing their teleport so effectively. Humanoid realizes that there really is no point in trying to force this. And look, Trundle and Thresh now on their way to the bot lane.
Gold card will be locked. Jensen, is he fast enough? There's the spell, but goes stunned in turret range. 2 more shots. A stopwatch to buy some time. Trundle ults are traded back and forth. Humanoid may not be killable now as the health bar gets up higher, but the turret will drop. Humanoid's second pillar is 12 seconds away, and Jensen cannot flash to find the gold cards. Humanoid will live, but TL answers the turret score.
And this is Team Liquid trying to pressure and leverage the half of the map where they have the advantage. During this time, Carzio was pushing on top side, so was able to get that wave all the way in. But Team Liquid get more. They finally knock over that bottom side turret.
Ooh, Mad now looking for a punish. They see the recalls on Vision.
Hook's gonna land, fly into the box, a flash in to guarantee the damage. Core JJ gets the kill credit, and they gotta walk away because this is a 3v3 with the cooldowns all missing. Core knows he is dead. Armut, 300 gold richer.
And look at the map. The whole commitment here is a 4-1 from Mad Lions to secure this. Humanoid goes down because of the flash burst damage. No time to get his Kingslayer off. And so it does mean Jarvan will push on top side for Team Liquid while Mad Lions get some plates after their kill.
So it is a lot of trading across the board. And I think that TL have just done a great job of shutting down Armut. They did the same thing the last time that they played. They played very much towards the top side of the map, and they were able to give Alphari so many early game advantages while continuing to put Armut behind. And I think that on this Jarvan, Alphari really is set up for success once again. I think one of the big difference makers this time around is Kazi is so much stronger than he was the last time they played, and he's in a great position to carry to.
Plus, the global invested teleport used by Humanoid, that saves Mad Lions top side. So they save those plates. It's going to tick to 14 minutes here. Those plates will not be achievable by Team Liquid. So Mad Lions, very good defense on top side while they still get bottom turret.
Frederick, I agree. I am also from NA. I would not mind a Mad Lions win. A 4-way tie would be very exciting. And it would save my pick'em. So there we go. The root's going to land. Great cleanse by Carzzy, but the pillar is not cleansable. The slow is big. There's a flay into range. Drop the auto attacks, and Jensen gets himself another kill. The TF ults are landing this time around.
And one of the reasons why it's so highly priced here at Worlds in Group Stage, Freak, is the map control that you get during these stages where so many trades are going on. Vedius, you know, all these outer turrets being traded over opens up so much room to work with. And even though Salas is picked into it, Salas doesn't always have access because it's not always matching the Twisted Fate. So no answer there. Team Liquid get the pick off. A little bit of extra gold.
Went for a maximized pillar, wanted to knock him up and in, but sadly went the wrong direction. That would have been maybe enough to finish the kill, or at least force a flash off of Kaiser, but as the knockup went the other direction, knew he had teammates coming around, so nothing picked up. 400 gold lead, still the game for Mad Lions. The Dragon comes up in 6 seconds, and with Core JJ just recalling, looks like TL gonna get this one up.
This one is, if they actually committed anybody to the bottom side of the map, would have been kind of dangerous for them because you're looking at all these ultimates available with the AoE possibilities here from Mad Lions. Not going to be the case, though. Team Liquid will give that one up. No Dragon stacking here.
Well, given that the Dragon is now gone and the neutrals that both teams are going to be looking to attack are these outer towers, likely in the mid lane, I want to give a huge shout out to Santorin and his performance here in the second week. His Trundle was debatable in game 1 just because of the composition that he was playing into, yet he made it work very nicely. Here in this second game, he has 100% kill participation. He has been involved in every single kill, and typically you expect it of the Twisted Fate, not the Trundle. But it just goes to show the positioning and where Santorin is playing on the map right now. TL are leveraging their priorities very well in this early game, and as we mentioned before, they're doing a good job of punishing Mad Lions at every opportunity they see.
It's always also worth shouting out the cost of a very active jungler like that. 100% kill participation comes at the cost of clearing off your camps on cooldown, so significant CS discrepancy here where Elyoya has been farming very, very much more quickly, and the Riftfield will go down in answer, so the Viego will be a bit of a problem.
So Elyoya has also just been taking waves. We just saw him take top. When the plays were happening bot, he was also taking mid farm, and he is being funneled resources. And during the playoffs, Elyoya, he went on this crazy long game streak where he just hadn't died. And when he has champions that he has agency on, that is where he feels most comfortable. He hasn't had the biggest impact in this early game, but with this Herald, Mad Lions should now be able to break the mid-tier 1 and actually open up the map for them to look for more picks.
I mean, he's higher level than his mid laner at the moment.
He is.
That is a true feat as a jungler, up to level 11, plus grabbing the Rift Herald. So he's got Rift Herald in hand for a strong push. You know, mid lane is an obvious choice because it's already fairly low, and the charge gets very close to opening up the map for them.
I want to quickly look at the map because we see that TL kind of have this 4-1 setup right now. They know the bot wave isn't worth playing around, but because TL have the numbers advantage and Humanoid doesn't have teleport, there's a big window for a play.
Okay, Arma got a rocket belt out of range, and Jensen's gonna land the gold card. They are gonna go for the dive, the dunk in as well, and the deletion on the opposing top laner. Team Liquid own the top side of the map.
Twisted Fate gets you such an advantage in initiative, choosing your fight. And again, so spread out, as you're talking about it, you know, the full vision coverage leading up to it. If you have so much fog of war for Team Liquid and Jensen specifically to play in, they will keep throwing out these picks and targeting anybody who blows their flash next.
I just love how proactive TL is being. I feel like that this is a team that we didn't always get to see during the regular season of the LCS, even in the finals, falling short 3-0. The fact that they've been able to bounce back so massively in this second week is really a huge feat to the growth that they have made. They're able to take themselves the top tier 1. They will end up losing the mid tier 1 thanks to this Herald picked up by Elyoya. And the game continues to be very, very close. TL, even though they do have the kill lead, just look at some of the goal differences here. We can see Jensen with a big advantage in the mid lane, Kazi and Elyoya with their advantages respectively as well.
And as that tower falls and Mad Lions get to really open up this map here, we start to look at how they're going to try and find flanking angles for the Kennen for the Rakan. Both of these champions love playing the flanks in these games, and that's why they're making very deep incursions into Team Liquid territory to try and get some wards down. Teleport flanks possibility, also clearing out for Fog of War. Anytime you get that successful collapse onto the backside, those are where the successes for Mad Lion will really come towards the mid stages of this game, because Kennen ultimate into Misfortune ultimate with Rakan locking everybody there just pops up a bunch of souls for the Viego, and that's how they get their advantage back. Meanwhile, Team Liquid want to keep pushing, playing those sidelines, get that Twisted Fate ultimate to find picks.
For today, kill some wards, has to respect the fact there's 2 in the brush, might go for a hook. He's gonna just walk all the way in and not find anyone, and then gets rid of a zombie ward. Elyoya just gonna walk out in invisibility.
Other really important cooldown is Tactical's Exhaust. He's chosen this for the Kennen when Kennen inevitably finds a flank onto you into the backside. If you can get that down early, will go a long ways towards him staying upright, especially with red-white guns. Definitely has a lot better chance of fighting his way out of it.
Now, the dragon is spawning in 45 seconds. Jensen pushed out top, but he's already making his way down towards the Drake. Alfari has the wave slowly pushing in mid, but Ahmed is worried about a collapse, and as he should be, is going to disengage as he recognizes that Alfari is now back in the lane, and this bot side jungle is being cleared out. TL have full control. Mad will have to walk into this TL lineup if they want to contest. Humanoid is going to be pushing up top, and he doesn't have any flank TP wards to go for, which suggests to me that Mad is looking to just give this Drake for free.
Team Liquid right now mostly owning the vision control. 18 seconds of the dragon coming up, and it's 2 control wards in the opposing jungle. Mid can be fought for as well. Yeah, sure, easy escape for Kaiser. But as the control ward drops in mid, it's a lot of Fog of War that Mad Lions would have to march through to contest the bottom river. So yes, Humanoid is topside. Yes, you could TP down, but it seems like they would love to just get 750 gold, more like 800, I believe, as a trade for Dragon.
And what you want to do here, Team Liquid, you try and hover Jensen a little bit towards topside, so once you have secured the Dragon, then maybe ult up to that topside. Alfari also going to join him.
Gold card lands, TF ult could be answered. Humanoid, if he wants to cast it right away, would get out. Everfrost gonna find the slow, and Alfari getting nearby, so Humanoid's second gold card means they're gonna have the damage. The flash, still get the auto attack.
Exactly correct timing from Team Liquid. You wait until you're sure the Dragon is controlled, then make the Twisted Fate ultimate play up to the top side of the map, punishing Mad Lions for trying to get something out of this trade.
And you could see that Mad Lions' play there was, hey, you know what, Humanoid, he's a little bit behind. Twisted Fate passive, you're also going to get all that additional gold. Let's just funnel him, that extra tower gold in the top lane. Let's close that gold gap a little bit between the 2 mid laners, and then we can just exchange. However, Team Liquid, they respond, as you rightly said, Kobe, perfectly. They get themselves even more gold into Jensen's back pocket. Humanoid ends up losing his flash, and TL can now go back on the offensive. defensive.
This is why, Vedius, I've been screaming all group stage long about Twisted Fate and how so many of these teams are using it for just the small timing advantages. This one is going to be a pass up towards top side to see if they can catch him, but Scryer's Orb is used. With that extra vision, he'll just get his recall off in the alcove. Ever since Perks tweeted about it, and I was like, yes, he's decided he's no longer losing to this champion. Mad Lions, though, they make the trade that so many teams have made with the Sylas to Twisted Fate. Even though they can steal the ultimate here in the Axe Effect replay, and even though Humanoid does sidestep the center of the Everfrost there, not going to be an escape for him. One auto's all it'll take.
He tried, and he ended up falling short. Oh, wow, he even got a shutdown off the back of that. So that was 500 gold into the back pocket of Jensen. You can see he's now working towards that Zhonya's third item, and he is very close to it as well. TL, even though the gold is dead even, I feel like that they're just in a very good position right now. Alfari with 2 levels over Armut. Tactical actually has a level advantage over Kazi, even if he is slightly down in itemization. And when it comes to these team fights, it really could go either way for me. I feel like that there's no definitive thing that, well, I mean, I think that the execution is going to be a big part of what could swing these.
Oh, and the picks! Big damage on the Kaiser again, has teammates nearby. Centaur can flash if he has to, but the Lantern's good enough from Core JJ. So get to reset momentarily. Mad Lions getting rid of vision on the right-hand side of the map. Alfari has to be careful. He's in a 1v4 for now. Mad Lions knows there is really almost no vision down here. Tio going back in the mid lane. This could be a turret that is killed, but they're not posturing too aggressively. Mad gets back up the river, and nothing's going to be knocked down.
But slowly look at this vision creeping in from Mad Lions. You know, some of the objective here for them on these picks is not just to get summoner spell cooldowns and try and get health advantages there by chunking people out, but exactly, Vedius, those deeper wards, because again, it's hanging over your head. This Kennen, who has already a stopwatch ready for the fight, Flash is ready for the fight, Teleport is ready for the fight. If that gets into the back line unannounced from the side of Team Liquid, they will be very, very scared.
And let's not lose sight of what this game is about. The final LEC team, the LEC champions, still alive in this tournament. This is an elimination game. If they cannot defeat Team Liquid, they are not passing the group stage. Much like Worlds last year, did not pass the stage they were born into. It may well be their fate, but their future is in their hands. They win this, they win later today. They have control of the road forward, but it must start with a win here.
And it's I know that it's a lot of weight as well for Mad, because remember that as the new first seed, a lot of European fans are just used to G2 coming in, and there's this like expectation now that Europe will do well because of the past successes of G2, and now that Mad is picking up that mantle of being the first seed, being that representative, a lot of those weight and expectations fall on their shoulders, and to fall short in the group stage, I know will be nothing short of a disappointment for this team. So this win is extremely important for them and their chances of making it to the quarterfinals.
Down goes yet another wave. 400 gold, small lead for Team Liquid, though 800 of that is fraudulent through the Twisted Fate passive. 900 to be exact, as Santorin finally gets his own set of farm. You know, we've seen Elyoya grab lanes so much. It's like, look, why can't the Troll King do it?
And buffing up the front line is actually a valid strategy for Team Liquid, because whenever you're faced with a team that has really big advantages if they find flanks, you want people to go for what we call marking in teamfight scenarios, where you mark the big flankers and you try and suss them out. Which angle are they coming from? The Rakan and the Kennen are the two big ones that you're looking for. If you throw the Jarvan, if you throw the Trundle in the face of these champions, you know, a very common Jarvan play will be to just start with your ult onto the Kennen and you force him to flash early and then save your EQ to try and lock him up, since you've built fairly tanky. But there's the Rakan.
Here's the frontliner, huge damage, Santorin, and they got him indeed. Gold earned, Core JJ forced one away, but that's a pillar. That's Elyoya on another jungler, finding the dive into the turret, finding the kill. Mid lane tier 2 is down, and Mad Lions are ready to rip and tear.
They make the flank, they find the angle there for Kaiser, and he's gonna make Team Liquid pay for it. There's already a move towards Baron. Teleport, I think, is ready for Humanoid. He'll join the rest of the squad.
TF probably going to try to join here as well. Humanoid not going to be in range for any of this. But without a jungler, Team Liquid have a hard time winning this fight. Armut still has his ultimate. Alfari could try to go for a big play, but How do you win this one? He's gonna go in, he's gonna find the duck, he's gonna find a single kill. Kaiser a bit low. Ult's not gonna land for Tactical. Stopwatch burn, Humanoid still waiting on the flank. Alfari lower and lower, but staying alive. And Team Liquid, they stopped the Baron. They didn't get a single kill, and they almost find a second as Humanoid is able to dive back into the pit to stay alive.
Alfari is the one who knows timing is the issue. They have to rush it there, because that was only a few more thousand health of being a Baron in the favor of Mad Lions. So he takes it upon himself. Alfari in, marks that cannon, immediately initiates, and saves it there for TL. Here's a look at the successful flank, though. That's what Kaiser can do for you.
So, as you rightly say, Kaiser is a big part of the Mad Lions initiations, and he's able to find a really good pick, and they convert it into another one. And with this numbers advantage, you sit there and think, oh wow, Mad should be able to secure a free Baron. But the 3 damage dealers of TL are still alive, and let's see the flank coming in from Humanoid.
TP in for Humanoid, has a dunk, armor in the same spot, so now it's gonna be a smite fight. Goes to Elyoya, 2 dragons apiece now. Team Liquid must be careful about the dive. It's Humanoid in, a lantern out, but Tactical has been left alone, and Tactical will fall.
Armut.
And yes, Armut could find a bit more. Did have Volt, did have Flash, does not go for the big play. The rest of the team was not nearby.
But they can threaten Baron. They've already taken down the Ophelia. So much damage missing from the side of Team Liquid. Tactical is a ginormous part of the carry.
The crucial things to know are Kennen still has the ultimate available, and Misfortune's ultimate should be up very, very soon. Alfari with the TP will be able to join, but he's certainly grouped up with mid. Mad, start the Baron.
Once again, TL have to go through Fog of War. They have very little vision. They know they're not hiding up in the top left corner. TF ult finally comes down as it comes up from cooldown. And we have seen this before. 4th health in the Baron. Will they just stay in the pit is the question. No, Yoy getting it lower. Here comes a dive for Armut. Gets in, stuns on a 3. They've knocked down Jarvan. They're gonna find more. Bot lane is entirely dead, and this Baron back to full health does not matter. Mad Lions take control of the game.
And all of Europe breathed a sigh of relief as they will finally be able to secure themselves a Baron and gain firm grasp of this game. Mad consistently used the Baron as a means to start the team fight. And this time around, knowing that they had a numbers advantage, getting this pick onto Tactical means that they would be in a 5v4. And with Kennen's ultimate and Misfortune ultimate up and available, they're poised and ready for the fight.
Huge, huge plays from Mad Lion there to split Team Liquid. They leave both members on the bottom side. They get caught out. The Kennen ultimate is available for this time, and that means big victory. Baron now allows the team to shove down these waves and actually get some towers. Sighs of relief there.
Yeah.
Out of the coaching staff.
Yeah, it's a mix of half minutes of relief because you know this is backs against the wall, and even if they win, their job is not done. I believe they must reach 3 wins to even have a shot, which means they must win their next match as well.
So much power in the team fight here. And because Team Liquid were split, just kind of half-heartedly trying to contest towards that dragon, you know, they only have 1 lantern, so they got jungler out and left out the AD carry. Now with Baron buff, though, Mad Lions are here to reap their rewards. Just watch that Baron power play skyrocket.
Yep, down goes the wave, down goes the turret. Gold lead stretches nearly to 5,000 as we're at 3K, the Red Bull Baron power play. Plenty of time to reset, still 1:45. Baron will time out in time for the Dragon, but realistically, that's not a terrible concern as a simple gold lead. Just having more items feels like a good way to control a Dragon.
That's a relief. I mean, it's when you look at Europe and how they've been performing in the second week, obviously a lot of struggles, a lot of frustrations, and Mad Lions were kind of this final bastion of hope, and their team fighting is what they have been praised for, and I think that we're finally getting to see a glimpse of it, largely because the way in which they used Baron, it was criticized against them in their Gen G game. They were able to sneak a couple of Barons, but they got punished as a result of it. Gen G found a really clutch fight against them in the pit, and they were able to shut them down. Team Liquid, especially with how Alfari's been playing, he's been dominating the entire laning phase. His team has been playing around him. He ends up getting caught out, and they end up falling short. Now, the TF ultimate comes through. TL are going to try and hold on to this tower.
And they spot that it's all 5 sieging top. There's no flank play to be had, but maybe a reinforcement instead, as indeed the inhibitor turret will be fought for. CoreJJ slowed. CoreJJ has a flash, but doesn't burn it. No, it was still down for a few seconds. And so he had no way out, was too far up in a play they were retreating from. Elyoya able to walk away all the same. Shot's not going to be enough damage from Tactical. And Team Liquid did not have to defend the turret that strongly, just giving away gold.
Yeah, another good punish here by Mad Lions on Team Liquid positioning. All of these picks have been afforded to them because of the positioning there, opening up from TL. CoreJJ this time around, he had a few more seconds left on his flash as he's up by. This tower is going down. There's nothing that's gonna keep protecting you. You can sidestep as much as you want, but the Mad Lions chase him down. Another kill on top of it, and yes, the Baron power play continues to balloon for them.
I do like what Tactical did there, though, with the use of the pillar, and then he held on to his auto attack until the Starax actually disappeared to see if he could get a big hit off onto Elyoya. Fortunately for him, did fall short, but now Team Liquid find themselves 5.5k gold down. Obviously, a pretty substantial gold difference.
Yeah.
They're not at threat of the Dragon Soul just yet, which means that they're likely going to continue to stall, and you're then kind of looking at Tactical at being one of your big win conditions. Aphelios does have a lot of damage in the late game. We've all seen the 200 years. We know what he is capable of. It's just about finding that good team fight and leveraging some of the long-range pick potential that Twisted Fate has.
But this is a battle for the mid lane, so TL not willing to cede the map. Instead, it's Humanoid coming in. They're finding the charm. Trundle could die. Santorin just barely gets out of range. And a redemption gets the health bars back up for Mad Lions. Elyoya now low, does not get the reset. Sterex Gauge pops pretty good damage out of Tacticals. Not yet ulti, just the Q spam. And as Mad Lions are a bit low, TL may try to go back in. They have Jensen's ulti.
Exactly. Twisted Fate ultimate pop for the Vision. Dragon being bursted down.
Armut, he's gonna pop his own ult. Gold card gonna land. A stopwatch buys time. Dragon is down, but can Armut die?
Ooh. Oh,
that is just barely. Azonia's in time for Jensen. One kill for the Dragon. That means next drag is sold for Mad Lions, but does TL find a fight to get more than a single kill?
The only option probably would be return to mid and push out that mid wave and maybe pick up the remnants of that outer tower. Little bit of extra gold, but that's about all you can ask for.
Well, I think the fact that TL was able to find that pick, able to punish Mad Lions, because I think they played that mid fight really well. The fact that they were quite spread out, the fact that Santorin was the target focus, he didn't end up losing his flash off the back of that as well. And he forced Mad Lions to invest a lot to allow TL to come back. Now, of course, the bad news is TL didn't actually get themselves the Drake. If they had, then they would have another win condition. But now that next strike is, they have to fight. They have to fight that next Drake. They don't have any more stall time. And so they're going to be forced to run into this Mad Lion squad that only continues to extend their gold lead.
Santorin was squeezing on that one for sure, with his ultimate barely ticking to keep him alive. Almost gives over the soul to Elyoya. That one would have been devastation for them. After the reset, though, they can try and supplant it with a little bit of vision, get Twisted Fate here. Jensen ultimate's about to come back up, push out the wave, and see if they can find something.
Time for topside. I mean, they might find the Aphelios, but no, just taking down Krug is going to be safe, earning as much gold as possible.
When you put the black mist around the red buffo walls there.
Yeah.
Little heart from NAEU Love Fest here going on.
Wow.
Oh, absolutely.
You know that Viego, he's a very compassionate person.
Exactly.
A man of the heart.
Thematic.
He is also level 16, by the way. He is quite high level for a jungler at this point in the game. 3 items fully completed. In theory, means more stats for Santorin to steal. Ironically, Humanoid steals away his ultimate.
And maybe wants to go in there. Here comes Aurelius. Here comes the attempted play. Jensen going to be out of range. And here comes Alfari. Will not be knocked up just yet. Dunks in 4, but is there follow-through? Bullet time, not bad. Here comes Cannon. And it's going to be absolutely huge for Armut. They get 1, they get 2. The TL bot lane is gone, as are their base most likely. Humanoid diving in, wants to find Jensen. Won't get a stun, but this inhibitor is likely to fall with the Baron instead.
Another big team fight goes in the way of the Mad Lions and Armut. With the flash available, with the ultimate up and primed, he's able to shut down Team Liquid, and with Baron on the cards, this is going to be another big objective, swinging into the favor of the Mad Lions.
Coordination here in the team fight pays off. Teleport comes in for Armut on the side, so even though Team Liquid disengaged after the Cataclysm, he finds them, he punishes them. It's so well done by them to have multiple layers of engage, and definitely pays off here. This is going to be Baron number 2. That one you got to think is going to be an inhibitor turret breaker.
Well, let's see how much they want to do with it. 2 minutes 45 on this buff to take down Team Liquid, keep themselves alive in the tournament. This fight, really, really well done.
So you can see when the TP comes through that Mad Lions are saying, hey, actually, we can go for this fight, but Alfari's just using his ult to disengage, and then look at how quickly they all have to flash away to set up for the Kennen to come in from the flank. Jensen's forced out of the fight. Tactical ends up dropping, and Mad Lions walk away with 2 kills.
Exactly, and that was even with Tactical's exhaust up. He exhausts the Kennen during the ult, but because their entire backline gets stunned up, there's nothing to protect them from any of the DPS coming through. Mad Lions run them over. And with the full charge here, 2 minutes left on this Baron buff, you can just spread the map. 1-3-1, Kennen bottom side, send your Silas up top side. He's got teleport ready for Humanoid, so even if he doesn't get in range to Twisted Fate to steal the ultimate, he can teleport over.
And I think that one of the big things for Team Liquid is they've given a lot of team fights for Mad that they really just couldn't afford to give. And I have to give a lot of credit to Kazi, finding that 2v2 kill alongside Kaiser in the bot lane, level 17, full build now on the MF. The damage that he throws out, I feel, at this point is far too great for Team Liquid to be able to deal with. And if they can catch him out, then I feel that there is a way that they can stand a chance. But the question is, how do you catch him out?
And it looks like Mad Lion's gonna go ahead and take themselves a fight. Their armor gonna be locked in place for now. Huge damage on the Centurion, pops a stopwatch. Can they find these kills though? As Alfari is forced to revive and dies. Even without Humanoid there for the first half of it, the damage was still found, and Kaiser wants in. Kaiser gets the knock-up, a double kill for his lane mate as Karzi's happy to keep popping off in this game. Team Liquid on their very last legs.
Yeah, you can say that again, Freak. Baron's still on Mad Lions. They're not gonna stop here.
Pushing down one turret, the inhibitor gonna fall as well. And 40 seconds on Tactical's respawn should be enough to knock down the Nexus turrets. Mad Lions had to win this game, and they have done so, improving to 2 wins, a tied score right now with TL. And the control still available. Mad Lions, the last hope of Europe, take the win.
And as you said, Freak, a much-needed win for Mad Lions as well. Of course, it's not all doom and gloom for Team Liquid. They're still in a pretty good position. If they can win their next game, I believe it is against Gen G, then there's still a very real chance for them to get out of this group and to create that crazy 3-way tiebreaker amongst all these teams. And a lot of the pressure still falls onto the shoulder of Mad Lions because they still need to win their next game as well.
Yeah, so much of this, really good punishment of positioning errors on Team Liquid by Mad Lions. Immediately going on them when they're split, finding that pick over and over. Even though the first pick and the Baron attempt was defended by them, and they needed to find another one, they do so at the Dragon, really breaking it open.
Well, with Mad Lions win, we are one step closer to a 4-way tie in Group D. That's a Mad win and a TL win in the last 2 games, and there you have it. Everyone's going to be tied there. So that'll be exciting if it happens. After the break, we'll send it to the analysts to break down that game before checking in with Lore and Kaiser.